Hello people, I'm Jaby KOAY, joined by Achara KIRK.
Hey guys.
We're looking at the trailer to Chhichhore. This is directed by Nitesh Tiwari. It's starring Sushant, Singh, Rajput, and Shraddha Kapoor. Directed by Nitesh Tiwari and produced by Sachin. A quick thank you to Rashi Mudalkar for making the subtitles for us. This comes out September 6th, which is very, very soon. So mark your calendars, here we go.
भाइयों और बहनों, पेश हैं आपकी कॉलेज की यादें बस चंद शब्दों में। कृपया हेडफोन्स पहन लीजिए।
Oh boy.
बचा दे मेरी प्यास। तेरी माँ ने बहन के माँ के।
Hello, am I speaking to Gurmeet Singh?
Yes.
सेक्सा साले मैं अन्नी बोल रहा हूँ।
ओ साले कम्मो तू बहन की टकी कुत्ते की लेडी बहन।
अन्नी अन्नी
अरे अन्नी नहीं, अनिरुद्ध।
हॉस्टल लाइफ है ये भैया। यहाँ पे देश पांडे का डिस्को हो जाता है, पटवर्धन का पट्टू हो जाता है, चौधरी का
हाँ ठीक है।
खिलाते हैं।
What sir?
अबे छोटे नवाब के साथ गुफ्तगू करता है।
I don't know any नवाब।
अबे डू यू मास्टरबेट?
नो।
क्यों? तेरे बाप ने ताला लगा रखा है क्या?
पाप लगता है सर।
अरे
तुम्हारे होने वाले बच्चे की मौत की
माँ का।
What happened? Oh.
सोचिए भी मत। क्यों? वो देख, वो देख, वो देख। नहीं देखा जाता ना मुझसे भी।
इन छिछोरों से मिलने के लिए आइए 6 सितंबर को अपने छिछोरे दोस्तों के साथ।
That's cute. So there's two aspects to it, right? Because there's them when they're young in college and then them later on older.
It has that Three Idiots feel, certainly, because it's taking place in college. You're dealing with a bunch of kind of, I mean, for lack of a better word, rowdy boys, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's pretty typical of any group of boys in college, I think. You get enough boys together
Right.
and it turns into that, because it does remind me of my college days as well. You know, like just hanging out together. That whole group porn thing, that's a thing.
I don't understand that.
I've been in that room. It's very bizarre. True story, guys. Ask me about it sometime.
All right. I never heard that before.
You haven't?
Not from you. Not from you.
I'm pretty sure I told you.
No, you never told me that. That's weird.
No, it's super weird.
The only time I did that was when I was a kid, and I talked about that. It's an animation. I'll probably link it for at the end of this video or in the description below. Richard Carr did a nice little animation to my situation that's like that, where a group of us are sitting watching a video, but then it blew up in my face because someone said something to someone's parents. So I was a kid. I was like in 2nd grade when that happened. It was a very different situation than a bunch of boys in college. Anyway, overall, this story looks like a lot of fun. It looks a little bit more, the only word I can think of is edgy for India. It's not too many stories you see about this that are like out there like that.
It's interesting because one of the first comments I saw on the video was, this is real college life. I feel like it's something that's very relatable, and you definitely get the sense of those friendships that you form in college are the ones that you will keep for the rest of your life. And I can attest to that. They get up to a lot of fun shenanigans as well. There's all that kind of stupid pranks that you pull on each other in school. I've been involved in my fair share. I think I was just friends with people who were, you know, the naughty boys in college, and then they would kind of rope me into their little schemes. Like, I remember one time a friend of mine was terrified of the movie The Ring, and at the time my hair was like waist length and black. I dyed it black, and they were like, hey, so wear a white t-shirt and we're gonna go to her room and put your hair in front and do the scary ring girl thing. Be Sadako. And I was like, okay, sounds like fun. Knocked on my friend Alex's door and she opens it up and I'm like, and she was so scared. She had to ask another friend come sleep in her dorm room, and he slept on the floor because she was terrified.
You're such a good person.
I know. I was one of those, people in college who's it's a fun time, and I feel like it's very nostalgic, and they've definitely tapped into that nostalgia with this trailer and hopefully with the movie.
वो देख वो देख नहीं देखा जाता ना.
Have you ever been in that situation with a hot girl like Shraddha Kapoor, who's like the only hot girl in your class? Every guy is vying for her attention.
Well, see, for me, my experiences are totally different from everybody else's because I went to Catholic school, which is a private institution, and then I went to a public high school. And it was such a huge school. You could meet someone 4 years into that school and you've just never met them before and they've been at school the whole time you were.
Oh.
Because the school was so huge.
Wow.
To me, it was big. It was like 3,500 students in a high school.
In the entire high school?
In the entire high school.
Wow, that was like 3 times more than mine.
Right, so I could have been in the same class as someone in 9th grade and in 12th grade met them for the first time. The popular contest wasn't really a thing in my high school. And for me, college was just community college because I started going to community college while I was in high school. I was friends with grown-ups. I was surrounded by people who were going back to school at night. I just continued that class, for a couple of years as an adult. And then I left and pursued the film industry, essentially. My experiences like that are totally different. Maybe I experienced it a couple of times, but it wasn't ever a thing where it was a bunch of dudes vying for that one chick. It was that I've experienced that in life,
Yeah.
in casting. I go to an audition and there's the one hot chick and everyone's vying for her attention. But I've also been on the receiving end where I'm the only dude, so all the girls want to talk to me.
Yeah.
Even if I'm I don't know where I stand on the scale of 1 to 10, but wherever I'm at, when you're the only dude in the room, you automatically increase in value. Your stock goes up.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's obviously what's happened here with Shraddha Kapoor. She's unbelievably gorgeous to begin with. And but her stock, it compounds because she's the only girl around.
Yeah.
I can see how, the main character feels. He's in love with her just like everybody else. And so his chances are probably, in his mind, nothing.
And I feel like that's probably reflective of the split when you're in a very sciencey, mechanically based class like engineering or something like that, where it's mostly guys and maybe 10% female. I think your odds of, if you're a girl, your odds are probably way better in that situation, although I'm sure it must be incredibly overwhelming to just have so many guys be interested in you at the same time.
Yeah, the closest thing I can think of that I experienced that with was my first high school girlfriend. Me and this dude, who I've talked about on this channel before, both wanted the same girl at the same time, and he was the dude who gets the girls.
Right.
Every time. Every single time. This dude's handsome, he's tall, he's charming. He would always get the girls, and it was so frustrating that, there was an instance where he and I were interested in someone at the same time. He asked her out before I did and ended up dating her for a little bit. Ugh. She's my best friend now. And so the girlfriend that I ended up having for a long time in high school, he and I wanted her at the same time, and I asked her out, and she went with me. She did like him more than me initially.
Oh.
But
oh, yes, I remember this.
Yeah, I ended up winning out on that one, so... winning, whatever that means. I ended up breaking up with her anyway, but most of the relationships you have when you're a kid don't matter.
Yeah. This kind of reminds me of stuff my dad told me about when he was in college. Who our parents were in college may not even be who we perceive them to be now.
Well, the thing that I'm most curious about... That's funny you should say that, because part of the point of this is that you never change.
I know. So it's inside you never change, right?
Yeah.
That scene where he was calling him on the phone and he's at this important business meeting. But as soon as his old friend calls him, he's cursing up a storm at him, calling him, mother effer this, dog that, blah, blah, blah. And then they're all like, what? Because clearly, as an adult in his everyday life, he's very successful and well put together and all that. But you get together with your old friends again. And it's yesterday, once again, I had a situation where I hung out with my dad and his college friends. And I just sat there listening to the stories. And I was amazed. Yeah. Because... this person who they were saying, we did this, we did that, it was so much fun. I'm like, who is this? That's not my dad.
Well, I mean, when you become a responsible adult, your attitude changes.
Yeah.
You're often looking at someone who disciplined you growing up, and so it feels weird to know that at one point they weren't doing that.
But I do highly recommend it if you ever have a situation to hang out with your parents with their old college friends. It'll blow your mind. It's enlightening and so awesome.
The thing that's making me curious on that note is what is the point of the adult or the the elder years that they keep emphasizing here, because I don't know if it's cutting back and forth or if it's like one half of the movie is when they're young, the other half is when they're older. I would think that it's intertwined. And I just want to know what the point of the later story is, because I'm getting the sense of the younger story, but the later story is not, at least not evident in this trailer.
Yeah, and it still wasn't super clear in the last trailer either.
I would imagine it has something to do with Shraddha Kapoor. That's the only logical explanation I can come up with. Is kind of like in Three Idiots, I'm sure all of you have seen the movie, but the whole thing is Amir Khan's relationship with Kareena Kapoor, establishing that again and fixing that.
Maybe.
Because Amir Khan's character was missing for a long time, and so I would imagine it's something about the old mates getting back together to fix something that took place years ago.
Right, like they have to help each other once again.
Exactly. That's the thing that makes the most sense to me. Anyways, you guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Let us know your feelings on this trailer in the comments below. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the bell icon so you get notified every time we drop another video. Check out our other reactions, reviews, short films, vlogs, interviews. I'm Jaby KOAY. This is
Achara KIRK.
Peace out.